I like Draymond. You put him out there against me and Karl Malone or Kevin McHale, we gonna kill him. He too little. Uh, but like I say, and that's not a slight. That's just a fact.
It
And I
is.
tell you, he's
It
a heck of
is.
a player. He's a nice kid and a really good player. But if you put that little man out there against me and Karl Malone, in the words of Shaquille O'Neal, barbecue chicken, barbecue chicken. That little man out there on us.
All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Hope you all having a good day so far. So, I was doing my usual. This time I wasn't actually listening to the podcast. This is the Mark Jackson Show, and Charles Barkley is the guest. There's 2 full videos on them, and they're both about like 40 to 50 minutes. So I haven't had a chance to listen to any of this yet. But I was kind of browsing through because I knew I wanted to check this out with you guys. And let's see, I've got one mark here where I see that they're talking about load management and stuff like that. And then the very next video, I see they're starting out with some interesting topics as well. So I just wanted to kind of wing it with you guys. I might get lost halfway through here on the second video, trying to figure out where to go, or it might just be really entertaining. So let's find out. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna link the original video down below, like I always do. So that's gonna be for the Mark Jackson Show. Really cool podcast he does with his son, and Charles Barkley being the guest. Not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna listen to the entire 2 video podcast eventually here on my own. But if I did that, that would be like a 3-hour video by the time I got done with it with you guys. So I'm going to link the original video down below. Everybody, please leave this video a like. I'd appreciate it a ton, and let's just get right into this, all right?
Charles, can we talk a little bit about today's game? I want to know.
Yeah, see, Blue, now you go have to mess up my whole day. All right? I'm in a good mood. Right? And there you go. You know, it's interesting, Blue. I was on Dan Patrick's show recently. He asked me a great question. He says, because our ratings are down.
Yeah.
We've been up, but they're down now. And he asked me a great question. He says, it's because it's just become a 3-point shooting contest or load management?
Both?
I said, Dan, that's a great question. I says, and they're both issues, in my opinion. Fans are not just going to go out there and see a bunch of guys jack up threes every night. Guys don't even shoot layups anymore. They don't shoot any mid-range. It's like, we're just going to shoot a bunch of threes, and if we make them, we win. If we miss them, we're going to lose. I said, well, there's no strategy involved. Yeah, it's great if you're going to make them all. I don't need any strategy if I'm going to make all my damn shots.
Yeah, no kidding. That's how it is too. It's it's only a game of who's hotter, which team is hotter, and that doesn't take strategy. So what kind of offensive scheme is this? Like where it's just that's it. Let's just see which team has the streakiest shooters.
I think the load management thing is going to become the biggest problem because, you know, with this new TV deal, Blue, I think we got 5 or 6 players making $60 million. And bless them. Bless them. I don't hate on the young guys for making that money. But when this new TV deal kicks in, it's going to be like, it's almost triple what it is right now. Crazy. It is triple if I'm adding my numbers up, right? It is almost triple. Because 1.2, 1.2, 2.5, 2.5, 2. Oh, it's almost 5 times. So we're going to have guys making 70, 80, 90, $100 million in the next 3 or 4 years. And when one of those guys who's making $95 million saying, I can't play basketball 2 days in a row, these fans are going to go crazy. And they have a right to do so. It ain't like we construction workers or steel workers who got like real jobs to play basketball 2 days in a row. I said the most you're going to play is 4 days in a week. Most of the time you play 3, but sometimes you might play 4. But if we keep alienating the fans when guys making 70, 80, $100 million, and they're like, I'm gonna do load management. I'm saying, whoa, that's to me, that's a bigger problem for the fans going forward.
Yeah.
That's just my personal opinion. Listen, I love today's game. I don't, it's really
I'll put my input on that. Like, I agree with him. I think right now, this second, the ratings are down because of the play style. So everyone just jacking threes, complaining to the refs constantly, no defense, inflated scoring where nothing seems to matter. I think that's affecting the game today. I mean, I'll tell you, that's why I'm not watching much of the game today, unless I have to. It's not pleasurable anymore. It's not enjoyable. Moving forward, though, I see what he means. If this load management problem gets even worse, combine that with the terrible style of play that's going on, who the hell's really going to tune in? It's not the young ones. The young ones aren't watching full games. They're just checking highlights on their phone. So where are they going to make all this money? I wonder. Amazon might have made a bad investment, or I'm completely wrong, and they're going to make a buttload of money off of the NBA rights. We'll see.
interesting when me and your dad say something. Anytime
Whoop,
an
whoop, whoop.
old head says something, we
Sorry.
hating on the young
I think I held spacebar there.
opinion. Listen, I love today's game. I don't,
No, you don't.
it's really interesting when me and your dad say something. Anytime an old head says something, we hating on the young guys. Sometimes stuff can be true. They got some really great players today, but it's really just become a 3-point shooting contest.
Mm-hmm.
And what's amazing to me, we went out there with one leg, broken faces, cheap
Broken faces. Okay, Embiid.
shoes,
What'd he say?
broken faces, cheap
Cheap
shoes,
shoes, yeah.
flying commercial. Now these guys make the most money, bless them. They got the best shoes. They got damn ice things, ice baths. They
Hyperbolic
got
chambers.
hyperbaric
Yeah,
chambers,
yeah, yeah.
and they're always hurt. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, wait a minute. If y'all, come on, man, y'all got the best stuff ever. Like if you get hurt now, like in our day, if you got hurt, that's the stuff that could end your career. Now you're back in 6 months and quote unquote better. You know, you probably don't even know this. Cause me and your dad so old. Dude, my first 3 years in NBA, I flew commercial.
Mm-hmm.
And it was crazy. Been
Or
in the airport at 5:30 in the morning trying to sleep after you had played the night before and got 2 hours sleep.
yeah, we see on The Last Dance, even in 1998, they were still traveling around on that Bulls team bus.
Fly half the day, then take a quick power nap and go to the gym and try to play basketball. I said, hey man, be appreciative. Play all the games. Adam
Yeah.
Silver, who's a great person, he's like, well, if you don't play 75 games, you can't win an award. A dude making $90 million don't give a damn about no awards. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You think a guy making that much money is like, yeah, I didn't win. I didn't make all NBA. I didn't get MVP. Like, yeah, yeah, yeah. But I made $75 million this year. So I
It's
just
true.
wish these guys would realize how lucky they are. I mean, we're so blessed to play sports. But these guys today, man, they're really lucky and blessed. I just hope they appreciate it.
Yeah.
What do
Man, he really. You never see someone in the mainstream media just hit all the notes like this, because it's similar to all the. It's very similar to everything I've been kind of complaining about with what's going on in the game. Is it's not that I don't want people to make money. Obviously, that's great, but the example that they're setting while making more and more every single year, like you said, eventually we're going to have somebody making 90 to 100 million dollars, but he didn't show up to work 25% of the days. And it sets a terrible example for the work ethic of the people, because it's like, well, that's normal behavior. Yeah, I was tired. I was a little sore today, so I didn't show up to work. Try pulling that in a restaurant or something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm calling in my legs are a little sore from working yesterday. So, well, are you hurt? No, I'm tired. I need to load manage. Like that kind of stuff does not fly in the real world.
What do you think about? I know you saw Anthony Edwards' comments. As great as a player he is, his comments about players in the '80s and
Oh
'90s not
snap!
being able to play today. And you name Pat Ewing, you name all
Oh
the, you name some pretty high level guys. But there are guys that were stars that would be absolute max players today. You think about a guy
I,
that you played with like Kevin Johnson. What would he be in today's game?
I would love to see Anthony Edwards chase Mark Jackson off 22 picks. Reggie Miller, like Reggie Miller, Reggie Miller, Rip Hamilton.
yep.
I'm talking
Ray
some of the
Allen.
great Ray
Ray
Allen,
Allen.
some of the greatest movers without the basketball. Like when you could actually set a pick without them calling it illegal. I would love to see, and Anthony Edwards is a really good player. But I would love to have him chase Reggie Miller around all those picks and get hit by a serious pick. Man, I don't. I see, yo, anybody and I've never said the game is better. It was just different in our day. These
Totally
guys,
different
they
game.
don't want that physicality. They don't want that physicality. Because, like, well, first of all, listen, I'll tell you, anytime we played them damn Detroit Pistons, I used to call my family and say, hey, if I never see y'all again, I love y'all. Because them boys were out there trying to hurt people.
Yeah.
Them boys were flat out there trying to hurt people.
Oh man, it was closer to like football or hockey than it was to whatever this is. Now it's so no contact. It's true though. You know, it's not like they wanted the contact back then. It was just part of the game, so they accepted it. So they met force with force. Now it's just not part of the game. So of course they don't want the contact, and they also don't have to worry about it. So they're kind of getting what they want, but it makes the game not interesting. Imagine football, but no actual contact. It was just flag football. I'm pretty sure the ratings would just plummet.
But it was a different. It's kind of like that in football. It was different playing football back in the day. Like I say, I
Yeah,
never say
yeah,
it's better. It's just different. Can you like a quarterback can play an extra 5 to 7 years now
yeah.
if they don't take any physical contact. You get
I agree with that, but outside of that, like the game is still pretty intact. Yeah, I know we're throwing the ball a lot more than we're running, like in the old days. So that is kind of similar, but at least outside of the quarterback and maybe the kicker, the contact's still there. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like it's not nearly as bad as basketball is what I mean. But yes, it has definitely changed since the 80s when I was growing up to what it is now. Very, very different sport.
near a quarterback, they're gonna call a penalty. In the old day, they used to knock the hell out the quarterback, take him to the sideline, put that stuff on his nose, and get back out there. Now,
Like a
now if you get a
boxer.
concussion, they're like, "We'll see you in a month."
Yeah, yeah.
And hey, number one, I don't want players getting hurt, but for these guys to say, first of all, who's more athletic than Michael Jordan? Nobody. Nobody.
Yeah.
Anthony Edwards is really a talented dude. To say he's more athletic than Michael Jordan, that's crazy. Scottie Pippen, ain't nobody more athletic than Scottie Pippen.
Dominique, Sean Kemp.
Like Joel Embiid is a heck of a player. You think he really want Patrick Ewing?
Oh, good
Cause
one.
Pat gonna run the floor. He gonna jump, shoot him in his eyes. He gonna play him aggressive and physical. I mean, to say guys in our day, I'm like, listen, Draymond Green's a really good player.
By the way, Patrick, if Patrick Ewing was the one guarding Embiid, Embiid would be crying and injured and miss like the next 2 months, just like after one quarter with Patrick Ewing with that level of physicality. Same with like the Admiral or Shaq or even Hakeem.
They better not put that little man out there against me and Karl Malone. We gonna kill him.
Wait, who? Who? Hold up.
They better not put.
Hold up.
I'm like, listen, Draymond Green's a really good player.
Oh.
They better not put that little man out there against me and Karl Malone. We
Oh
gonna kill him.
man. especially Karl Malone. Could you imagine one giant elbow from Karl Malone to Draymond? It's over. And Draymond couldn't keep up with Chuck's butt, in the post. He sticks that butt out and posts the hell out of people. He couldn't stick with him. I love this, so.
I like Draymond. You put him out there against me and Karl Malone or Kevin McHale, we gonna kill him. He too little. But like I say, and that's not a slight. That's just a fact.
It
And I
is.
tell you, he's
It
a heck of
is.
a player. He's a nice kid and a really good player. But if you put that little man out there against me and Karl Malone, in the words of Shaquille O'Neal, barbecue chicken, barbecue chicken. That little man out there on us.
Holy shit.
That's a wrap for part one of our.
All right, that was part one. Let's get to part two. That was so freaking awesome. Barbecue chicken. Oh, man. He had the nerve to say he could guard Shaq, by the way. He had the nerve to say we could shut you down. And he said it right to his face, too. And Shaq was just like, stop messing around. Stop playing. Like, what the hell's wrong with you? Okay. I forgot what they were talking about here. But it caught my attention right at the 40-second mark. So I just stopped it right there. I have no idea what else they talk about. Let's just let it fly.
You talked about. I've heard you talk about super teams before and your dislike for them. But when you watch today's game, is there a player that you look and say to yourself, "Man, I would love to have played with him"?
Well, I hate super teams because you're cheating.
Yes, sir.
If they had told me back in my day they were going to hold it against me, I was like, well, I want to go to play with Michael Jordan or Bird and Magic. Like, yeah. If y'all gonna say I didn't win anything, let me know that. Not after the fact. I was like, wait, we could have teamed up and won.
Yeah.
Excuse me, but
I mean, think about it. These guys all retired around 2000. Roundabouts from like 98 to like 2002 was when this whole generation pretty much they were out of the league. About 8 years later, the super team era started. So yeah, they should be frustrated. Like, what the hell? I mean, could you imagine if 1993 Barkley lost to the Bulls in the finals and then he joins the Bulls? What the hell is that? Or Jordan joins the Pistons, or Jordan joins the Celtics in 85 because he couldn't beat them in the playoffs. Like, it's terrible. Bird and Magic liked each other, so they should have teamed up too.
If you ask the guys, Bird and Magic, their legacy is against each other.
Yes. Yep, rivals.
Michael, I got my shot against Michael. Patrick got his shot against Michael. Karl Malone got his shot against Michael. Ain't no shame in losing to the greatest player ever. We got our shot, and it was a hell of a game. Yeah, it's so funny. Sometimes people act like we got swept.
No. I still say the 93 finals, 93 and 98 were the toughest for the Bulls. So, I mean, it may look a certain way, but if you actually watch the games, man, the Bulls barely crept by, and Jordan had to average 41 points a game in order to get the job done. Like, he had to go into complete God mode.
I was like, damn. Patrick, they had some game sevens.
Yeah, they went to game 7.
Reggie and the Pacers had some sevens.
Yeah, that's true.
Carl, they went 6. When I played the Bulls in the championship, we went 6.
Yep.
I said, so as great as Michael was,
they went 6, and it took. I mean, it went down to the very last second of game 6. That could have gone a completely different way. If one shot wasn't made, and then if Horace didn't get the block on KJ on the other end, both things had to happen for them to win, or else that would have gone game 7. And who knows what would have happened at that point? We might not know of the three-peat Bulls.
All you want is a shot. But if I'd have known they were going to judge it against me, I was like, yo, man, let's get together this summer and team up.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Man, I don't feel no type of way. I'm happy with what I accomplished. Uh, I've exceeded all my expectations. I mean, I've way exceeded my expectations. I'll tell you, man, when you growing up in the project in those damn bunk beds, you just trying to get the hell out of there. You ain't,
Yeah.
you ain't thinking like, well, I got it. I'm like, no, man. That's like one. Mark asked me a question earlier. I first went to college, and I was like, you know what? Get a damn job, boy. Get a job. And one of my coaches, Roger Banks, he said, son, you know what you're doing? I says, what do you mean? He says, you're leading the SEC in rebounding as a freshman. I said, dude, anybody can get 10 rebounds a night. He pulls out an NBA page stat sheet. He says, yeah, there's 7 guys in the NBA averaging double figures.
It's crazy.
I said, what? He said, son, if you get me 10, 11 rebounds a night, you're going to play in the NBA forever. Because at this point, I can't score. The most points I averaged in college was like 13
Oh,
in
wow.
3 years. I think that my last year. But I led the league in rebounding every year, Blue. But he said, son, I want you to become a rebounding machine. Get me 10, 11 rebounds a night, and you're going to be set for life.
It's funny. In my mind, anybody, it's like Chuck says, anybody can get 10 rebounds a night. It's just effort. And he's 6'4". So just put that into perspective. And he's out rebounding everybody. He did it his entire career.
I'm like, oh, I can do that. But I really wasn't thinking about the NBA until after my freshman year. He says, dude, I don't think you know what you're doing. You're for a freshman to be leading the SEC in rebounding. It's because we had Melvin Turpin, Sam Bowie at Kentucky,
Bowie.
Kenny Skywalker.
Yeah.
We had
Kenny
Dominique at
Skywalker.
Georgia. We had Vernon Delancey and Ronnie Williams down at Florida. The SEC was pretty loaded. We had Bobby Lee Hurt in Alabama and Ennis Watley. So it wasn't like I was in a rinky-dink conference. I earned that leading that league in rebounding.
Let me ask you a question. Tell Blue, when you were traded to the Phoenix Suns, the discussion you had with the players about being the best player in the world.
Yeah, so we played the Bulls. We played the Bulls and we beat them like 8 times in a row. Then Scotty and those guys got better. And, Bird had McHale and Parrish and Dennis Johnson. Magic had Kareem Worthy, Byron Scott, and all those guys. But I said, man, I think I'm the best player in the world. I said, all these other guys got some help. And the Sixers was screwing up my career because we had the number 1 pick in the draft and traded it like dummies, like dumb. And I was like, guys, so I get traded to Phoenix. So the owner calls me, he says, I said, well, this is what's going to happen. I'm the best player in the world. We're going to the finals. We're going to play the Chicago Bulls, and I'm going to prove I'm the best player in the world. So we get off to a mediocre start, and I know Michael. Michael know that I'm coming for him, that we're going to play them in the finals. And Michael loves to send messages. So we play the Bulls. He just stomp us. I go crazy after the game. I said, guys, that guy sent me a message tonight. He wanted me to know he better than me and they're better than us. I said, I told you guys I'm the best player in the world. We're going to the finals, but y'all got to rise up with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was going ballistic after the game. Then we go on like a 14-game winning streak. And we finally got together as guys. We're going to rise up. He's not coming down.
Yeah.
I said, that's one guy. Because I'll tell you
Yeah.
another story, Blue. So I go to the Olympic trials in '84. They invited like the top 120 players in the country. Probably 50, 60 Hall of Famers on that list. And the rest are household names. And we start cutting down on players. And I make it to the final cut. Me, John Stockton, Karl Malone, and Terry Porter are the four guys riding home together. My coach calls me like 3 days later. He says, Charles, John Thompson want to tell you something. Come to the office. He calls. He says, Sonny, I just want to tell you, Charles was the second best player at the Olympic trials. He should have made the team. Bobby Knight did not like him. He never gave us a reason. He just didn't like Charles.
Damn, so he should have been on that 84. Wait, the 84 team? Or no? The 84 team, right?
He said, but I just wanted Charles to know, Charles, you were amazing. You were the second best player there, and you should have made the team, but Bobby wasn't going to let you. So he hangs up the phone. He says, I'm surprised. I said, why are you surprised? He says, I thought you were the best player in the country. I said, well, I'm not. I said, well, I'm not. I said, coach, there's this dude. He's jet black. He's a little taller than me. He can outrun everybody. He can outjump everybody. And he's talking the whole time. He said, what's his name? I said, Michael Jordan. I said, coach, I ain't never seen anything like it. Because Michael's a little taller than me. I can say, he's mentally tough, man. And he could outrun everybody and outjump everybody. I said, damn, coach. I said, coach, I ain't never seen anything like it. And this is before he became Michael Jordan. This is in college. I said, coach, he's going to be amazing. I mean, I didn't think he was going to become the GOAT, but I knew. I said, coach, I'm not the best. There's this crazy dude from North Carolina who, he's kicking your he's kicking your and telling you he's kicking. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, and like I say, it's probably 50, 60 guys on that 120 that's in the Hall of Fame, and the rest of them are like household names. They were all, I guarantee you, probably 100 of the guys were first-round draft picks.
Lou doesn't believe.
Man, this is crazy. This is crazy. I didn't know that Chuck knew MJ that early on and was already like, no, this is the greatest player in the world. Like, what the hell? Or in the country. That's insane.
Lou doesn't believe that Jordan is the GOAT.
So it's interesting you said that because
I'm sorry. His father just called out son. It's like, oh crap.
we had a moment on TV the other night, Blue. LeBron is getting ready to pass Michael in the most 30-point games.
Oh yeah.
And Ernest says, LeBron passes somebody. He's only 40 games behind Michael Jordan for the most 30-point games. And I says, can you repeat that? I says, wait.
Yeah.
He already passed Kareem. And I says, he's what? He's 35 games behind Michael for the most 30-point game. And he's played like 7 or 8 years longer. I says, I ain't never going to shade LeBron. I love LeBron. He's a good dude. He's a great, great player. But to not have passed Michael in 30-point games, and he's played, I think he's on year 20, right?
Is it 20? Is it 21? Look at their reaction. Is it what? MJ played 15 seasons, but really only played like 13 full seasons, unless we talk about that Wizards year where he played like half a season and went under. I mean, like 12 and a half, 13 seasons, really, for MJ is what I'm thinking. And then LeBron played, what, 21 so far, I think? It is crazy that there are records that MJ still holds over LeBron. I'm just going to do the math real quick. All right. 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92. Okay? Because the 92-93 season was his final. And then 95, 96, 97. So that's 12. Because 97, 98 was his final year. And then the 2 years in Washington, I count 14 years, and that's considering not including his injuries. So 14 versus 21, yeah. Even if it's 20, that's still 6 more years, but I think it's 21 years, so that's 7.
And that's an incredible stat.
It is.
That he's still behind Michael and he's played 7 years longer. It's Blue. You got to admit that's an interesting factoid.
That is very interesting. But I'm gonna have to take a moment. I guess I got to be the OG because y'all must not have ever heard about the story between the tortoise and the hare, because that's just what
Oh,
this is.
come
Sometimes
on.
it takes a little longer to get to the destination, but we passed it up. It takes a
Barkley.
little bit longer on our route. Don't be mad because we made it here. We here now.
Well, the rules have changed. Would you at least admit that?
That's true.
So it's easier to play today. You have to factor that in. Like, again, example.
I'm sorry. I'm loving this conversation between Chuck and Blue because he's going. It's direct. I love this.
We know Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Joe Montana, and Pat Mahomes is going to pass maybe probably everybody. But the 3 guys I just mentioned, in the next 3 or 4 years, they're going to be like, they won't even be in the top 10 when it comes to stats.
Yeah, I know. It's sad. Yeah, a dude like Dan Marino doesn't get mentioned anymore, but it's and Peyton Manning was, in my opinion, God's gift to quarterbacking. But yeah, he's being forgotten real freaking fast here because everything is just about stats.
They like, some of these other bums not even in a conversation with them, but they're gonna pass them because the game is different.
Yeah.
They're gonna throw it 100 times a game now. And like I say, I never say they're better or worse time, but
It's just different.
Tom, Peyton, and Joe Montana are considered the 3 best, and Pat's gaining quickly. Their numbers are gonna be irrelevant in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
So I ain't never gonna say. I will say this about LeBron. I think his career has been the greatest sports story in sports history. What I mean by that, Blue, is people forget Kobe Bryant struggled in the beginning. Kevin Garnett struggles. McGrady struggles. All the young guys struggle. The only guy
He's talking about guys who came out of high school.
who didn't struggle was LeBron. He came in and played well right away.
He did.
And secondly, in today's society where everybody's out to get you with cell phones and text messages and things like that, I don't think he's ever really made a mistake. And to come in,
Not that not that's fully come to light. We'll see. We'll see when it's all said and done though. I remember back in the day, Barry Bonds was one of my favorite players. Darryl Strawberry was another one of my favorite players. I'm going the baseball route real quick. Mark McGwire was another one of my favorites. Jose Canseco was actually one of my favorites as well. Sammy Sosa was not. However, I'm throwing him in because of the steroid thing. And I remember how exciting it was seeing McGwire versus what's his name? I just said it. Like watching these guys just crank out homers left and right, going for the record, fighting for the record, and then afterwards it comes out that they were jacked up on steroids, and it was just completely meaningless. So I wonder if that's going to be something that happens to LeBron's career, is if the allegations come to light. If that happens, the whole Diddy thing, like I don't even want to get into it on YouTube because I'm kind of afraid to get shut down because of it. So I'm just not even going to really mention it. There's no allegations to be made. It's just, I wonder if these things will catch up to him or not. Because according to, hey man, remember when Tiger Woods' reputation was like the squeakiest clean? In fact, we used to compare him to Jordan a little bit, being like, man, he's got that reputation that we thought Jordan had, but it turned out Jordan wasn't completely innocent. But the things that Jordan did were no big deal. Like, so what? The guy liked to gamble. Big deal. He was gambling his own money. He wasn't in debt. And then Tiger Woods, his reputation gets just like smashed. So anybody with a perfect reputation out in the public eye, I don't trust it. And especially with LeBron, when we know there's these pretty obvious connections with LeBron. Anyways, I think some stuff is going to come to light. That's all I'm trying to say. We'll see when it's all said and done.
At 18 and be ready to play and live up to the hype and pass the hype. I think it's the greatest sports story ever. To come in at 18 and because like I say, and your dad knows this, man, some of the stuff, well, I'm not like your dad. Some of the stuff I did, I'm damn glad there wasn't no cell phones around.
Yeah.
Hey, hey, I'm glad there was no internet. All the guys in my generation, stuff that we did that was fun. It was fun and sometimes good, sometimes bad. We can't do that stuff today. Everything these guys do
Yep. It's
is
all.
that there's somebody out to get them. And for LeBron to go his entire career, be that great of a player and never get in trouble, I've said it before. I'm not just saying it on the Mark Jackson show. What a clever name. Damn.
I was going to name it the Steam Room, but it was taken.
The Steam Room is a really good tip. That's right. You like that, don't you? But, man, his story is amazing. I truly believe that.
And I mean, no disrespect to Michael Jordan. He's one of my favorite players. His story, even just his mentality, everything that it took for him to reach the level that he took.
Don't make me break out the endorsements and shoes and things either. That just be throwing gasoline on the fire, Blue.
No, don't talk about this.
And that's another thing. That's another thing Michael deserves credit for. Nobody had shoes that made money until Michael. No guys were doing commercials until Michael. See, the generation now think like, well, everybody got a signature shoe.
Mm-hmm.
No. Converse had Michael and Larry, but they were just regular Converse. They didn't have like Air Jordan.
That's true. Yeah. They had the red one for Dr. J, the green one for Bird, and then the purple. Was it purple or was it yellow? I think it was purple for Magic, but they were not signature shoes. He's correct. Dang. And then so many people, instead of getting their signature shoe, like I'm thinking we had Penny, we had Shaq, but outside of that, still not a lot of people were getting a signature shoe until Jordan and his own, the Jumpman Jordan brand, he started signing players even when he was still playing to his brand. So it really is like the majority of NBA players that got signed to a shoe deal were because of Michael Jordan and even through Jordan. There's only a couple that have stepped aside and have gone outside of the Jordan brand. And then, so there's a couple that were in Nike, but then even less that are outside of Nike. Like Steph, for instance, is in Under Armour, right? It's Under Armour, I'm pretty sure. Anyways, yeah, Barkley's totally right.
Man, this dude has made us and these players so much money. Like LeBron probably makes $100 million from Nike a year. That's because of Michael.
Yep.
Kobe made $100 million. All these guys got different shoes from different companies. So Michael deserves some credit in that aspect too. But also, dudes wasn't doing commercials back then. You have to add all this stuff in, to be honest with you. But like I say, I'm never going to say anything bad about LeBron.
And we got to talk about the global impact he made on the game. The NBA went, basketball went global in 92. And that was all Michael Jordan.
And also, I think it's disrespectful to Kareem, because Kareem probably has the best resume.
Mm-hmm.
Kareem probably has the best resume out of any. Wait, and I don't want to be disrespectful to Bill Russell.
Uh-huh.
If you want to talk about strictly accolades and accomplishment, Bill Russell and Kareem are probably 1, 2.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And that's why I always compare LeBron is more on the track to compete against those guys than he is to compete against Jordan. Because Jordan, he holds the title as he's the greatest, just the greatest of all time. But if we're talking about who has the most accolades, just straight up accolades, yeah, you got to get through Kareem. And he hasn't gotten through Kareem yet. It's not just about the total points. Look at the accolades. Everything that Kareem's done in college and everything that Kareem's done in the pros, the guy is a freaking champion. And then you talk about Bill Russell and forget about it. The whole conversation is over. So with Jordan, it's more about like he was the greatest, the best individual, the best winner, and he's got the accolades to back it up. But if we're just going strictly accolades, then LeBron's got a long way to go. He's got a long way to go before he could be considered the greatest of that category, like the most decorated basketball player of all time, because he's not even close with his 4 championships. Not even close.
You talked about things you did in your past. You almost got both of us thrown out the league.
Sorry, because the crazy thing is Jordan wasn't going for the accolades, but he actually has more accolades than LeBron. But Jordan holds the position not just because of his accolades, because he was the best. He was the best player. So LeBron has such a far way to go. Like, he'd have to get past 6 in order to even be in the conversation, in my mind. And I don't think there's a way in hell he's getting 2 more rings.
When you was a 6 and I was a Nick, claiming that we bet on the game.
I heard you tell that story somewhere recently, too.
Yeah, on the Mark Jackson show. This guy almost got us thrown out.
Hey, you want to bet?
The commissioner said, I'm going to take 5 minutes to go outside of this meeting of me and Charles, and I'm going to make a decision on whether I'm going to throw you guys out of the league or not. I'll be right back.
Wait.
I'm a young rookie.
Wait, that was, okay, no, he's a rookie. So that was David Stern?
And they're like nervous, panicking, think my career's over. Charles looks at me and says, I bet you don't throw us out the league. I'm like, this guy is crazy.
Hey, man, when I heard you tell that story, I was on the ground laughing because, man, David Stern, rest in peace. What see, Mark, man, you think about this. People think that the NBA was too black, too many thugs.
Too much drugs.
The finals were on tape delay.
Mm-hmm.
There was only 1 game a week on Sunday.
Oh, wow.
People don't even realize how crappy the NBA was. The average salary was $250,000. That's when David Stern took over. And there was the tape delayed finals, Blue. There was only 1 game a week, once on every Sunday on CBS. The average salary was $250,000. The average salary now is over $10 million.
Crazy.
I tell you how old I am, Blue.
What is that? 5? That's a 50X.
The first time an NBA player made $1 million, we were going around the locker room high-fiving each other. I think it was in 1980. I think it was in 1988. And I'm going to tell you something. I got Maurice Cheeks, Dr. J,
Cheeks.
Moses Malone, Bobby Jones. They announced that Magic Johnson had signed 25 years,
Yep.
$25 million.
Yeah.
We were going around high-fiving each other. An NBA player had never made $1 million.
The crazy thing is so many players and owners were so pissed off at Jerry Buss for doing that. But honestly, he was ripping Magic off. 25 years, 25 million, but nobody knew this was what it was going to take to kick the door open and get salaries up. So he was making $1 million a year. That was unheard of at that time. But yeah, what a crazy deal. And to think that like so many players were jealous of Magic about that, but then the contracts to follow, they ended up making more money than Magic did.
And now we got guys making $60 million.
Right.
And it's going to double start next year when the new, like, man, bless these guys. But I think it's important that these young guys appreciate how lucky they are. I mean, because they are lucky and born at the right time, and bless them. But man, just appreciate how lucky you are.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up right there. Lots of cool stuff in this podcast, between the whole GOAT debate and the load management and today's game being just a 3-point contest. Like, I thought this was a really cool conversation, and actually it was hilarious too. And I really like that Charles was like addressing Blue directly, and they were having a direct conversation about a lot of these topics. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and stop it right there. I'm probably going to watch more of this on my own, and I highly suggest you guys do too. If there's something super interesting that I come across, I'll stop it and I'll save it for you guys. But I'm thinking that's probably going to do it for this interview. As I always remind you guys, I'm linking the original video down below. The channel is called Come and Talk to Me, and this is the Mark Jackson podcast. Wow, they are starting to rise in subscribers, so that's a pretty cool thing to see. I'm glad, because this is one of my favorite podcasts out there right now. Cool father and son duo. But I'm going to go ahead and get out for now. Let me know what your guys' comments are about everything we just saw, and we'll have a good conversation about it like we always do. Please leave the video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. I'm going to get out of here. I will see you all in the comments. Peace out, everyone. Thanks for watching.